the first part of the 2020 plan, okay, the first part of the 2020 plan is very simple. Once you enroll into the system, you're going to have a position. Remember I said it's a dual team system. It's a binary. You're going to hear these terms as you go through the system, but dual team and binary, bi means two, dual means two. It's a two-team system, of course. I want to make sure I'm clear for all of the new people. Some of y'all may have heard this before, but I'm just making sure I'm being abundantly clear as I go over the information. But what happens now is this. When you enroll your first people, I want to make sure that you get with your coach or get with the person who's mentoring you or working with you. You should always have a coach before you go out and do this. Put a set plan in place so that you all have a thorough understanding of what it is that you're going to do and how you're going to structure your business. And so I make sure that when I'm working with a new person, we put some things in place and I say, hey, before you put your first people in, let's talk about where to put them in and why. Because certain people need to go in certain places. It's not necessarily a cookie cutter way, but once you get the rhythm of your group down, see, I look at the rhythm and the heartbeat of my group. What's needed here? What's needed there? And that way I can get the right structure and foundation. That's why I say it's so important that you always counsel with your plugged in upline. You always should write this down. I am going to always counsel with my plugged in upline. Someone who's plugged in, someone who's following the system, the proven system, and that's getting results. Now, the thing I can tell you is that anyone can go out and build the business in the way that they choose to. You can build it in the way that he or she chooses to do it. We can't stop you. This is an independent business owner business. But why go out there and try to be an innovator when duplication works? That's why I keep telling people, you know, innovation is great, but duplication is much more simpler. And that's what we want to show you how to do within our system. And so what happens now? You begin to sponsor your people. And what I like to do is I like to sponsor in what I call batches. I'm going to be a responsible sponsor. I just don't throw a bunch of mud against the wall, see what sticks, but I'm going to be a responsible sponsor. You're going to hear me say that over and over again over the years that we're going to work together. You have to be responsible because sometimes we put people in and we just think they're going to run on their own and we leave them by themselves. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a waste of good in many cases, because if you can't help that person, at least get them to someone in your upline. And that way we can actually grow the business. So what happens now? In your first 30 to 60 days, and this is going to be an 18-month plan. A 90-day plan. You should be committed for 18 months, but you work your business 90 days at a time, okay? You should be committed for 18 months, but you work your business 90 days at a time, set a plan, work your business for 90 days, reassess, make your adjustment. And the 2020 plan is actually for a 6-month period of time or less. It's designed for 6 months or less, okay? The quicker you do it and being responsible, the more momentum you're going to create. So I'm making sure that I put enough action, have enough momentum. I'm launching the business. I'm getting things going. And we've had some great trainers that came on. I know Luis Ventura did the launch, and Super E, Emmanuel Bernstein did the invitation. And on all the series that we have, you're going to listen to different people. Mr. Sam Bean did his training as well. And all the different things that we have, you're going to go and look at, and it all coincides together to help you set up that structure. So in that first 60 days, your goal in 60 days or less is to personally enroll 12 people, minimum 12 people. Now, some people like me, I did it in the first day. You may not be that quick, but as long as you get it done within a specific time frame to create the momentum, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the results, because now your people are going to begin to duplicate that process. So we're going to lay out the foundation. What happens when you sponsor 12? Okay. What I know about 12, out of the 12 that you personally enroll, 3 to 4 will quit. Out of the 12 that you personally enroll, 3 to 4 will quit. That is just part of the game. I want you all to understand, many people quit everything. That's just what they do. They quit. And you don't chase the quitters, you let them do what they're good at and move on about their business. But out of the 12, 3 to 4 would do what you call incubate. They're going to incubate. That means that they're going to hang around. They may utilize the product. They may attend the trainings. They may enjoy the services, the camaraderie. They may enjoy the personal development, because you know we have an excellent personal development system. And you love those people where they are. You don't rush them into anything. You don't do anything. It's okay. Every now and then they may sponsor somebody, and it's okay. But if for me to come clear with you, I was an incubator. I was an incubator. I was the one that in the beginning I didn't do all the things that was necessary. I was the slow one coming out the gate. But if my sponsor wasn't patient enough and wasn't wise enough, my sponsor would have skipped over me and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I'm here to tell you, not to make up anything here, this is actually the truth. I didn't come out racing and running and building it big. Everybody used to pass me. I'm giving you some hope. But I was willing to go through the process to change myself and to learn the system outside of the business success that I had prior to me getting started in this industry. See, it was all new for me. So I am telling you now, you don't invest a whole lot of time with incubators, but you at least have a place for them. There is a place in our system for the incubators to get in the slow lane on the road to success. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a story about a tortoise and a hare, the rabbit, the tortoise and the rabbit. And they were talking about the race between the tortoise and the rabbit. And the rabbit was running. They were going in. For instance, how in the world can the tortoise or the turtle and the rabbit, how can they compete? Well, the rabbit would run and run and run and run and take breaks. But the tortoise kept creeping along, creeping along, creeping along, creeping along, slow but steady, creeping along. But the rabbit just knew that, hey, I could go and worry about no tortoise. Took a nap on the way to his journey to win the race. Because he had no respect for the tortoise. Matter of fact, he just knew I can win, so I can take my time, I get there when I wanted to. But what happened was the rabbit got caught sleeping, overslept, didn't pay attention. In other words, stop growing, stop listening to the coach, because they got everything. I already know how to do it. I've had some success. I've done these things before. And just disobeyed, if you will, or didn't take heed to some of the counsel that was there. But the tortoise kept working. And eventually the tortoise won the race. You don't have to be the fastest one to do it. You just have to be the one consistent enough to stay in the game in order to make this happen. So I'll be the tortoise today. I will be the tortoise. I will be the turtle, however you want to call it, as long as I can win the game and be in the position I am today. Because I've seen hares, if they call them hares or rabbits, depending on where you're from, I've seen them run right on out the door and they're never to be found. So you choose, I'm not saying move slow, okay? It is better to move fast than to move slow. But the thing about it is, it's more about consistency and commitment to go through the process. So whatever your speed is, it's okay. And I want you to do this, whether you do this in the first, week, 30 days, or you do it within the first total of 60 days, put your first 12 in. 3 to 4 will quit, 3 to 4 will incubate, and 3 to 4 will work the business out of the 12 people that you're looking to put in within that given period of time. We know the averages. This is something that we have worked on for years, and we pay attention to the numbers. We have paid attention to the numbers. You take those 3 to 4 people, you begin to work their business, you put game plans in place for them, you begin to launch their businesses like we talked about. You help them with their invite, you help them make their list, you help them find their why, you work with their mindset, you get them on the right track, and you're gonna have 3 to 4 people that's most likely who's ready to run with you. Now the duplication takes place. See, a lot of people think they are losing when they're actually winning. What do I mean by that? Well, you probably would say, well, I sponsored 12, but you said about 8 will quit? Yeah, about 8 will quit. Or they're gonna incubate. It depends on who they are. But the 3 to 4 will help you carry the load. It's just like the law of averages. They said 80% of the work would be done by 20% of the people. Now, you can go try to be the hero and try to change that average, but that's the way life works. I'm not going to try to rearrange it and beat the odds. I just know the numbers. As long as I know the numbers and as long as I know the rules, I can play the game. And so I'm just giving you the averages of what you're looking at in order to go out and build a business. Now, what does this do now, these 3 to 4? In many cases, what we have found, and I want to be very clear, this is from setting up the proper foundation in your organization, setting up the proper foundation with the right amount of volume. What we have found on average here, again, no guarantees of income, but on the average, what we've seen for this would take you to the level of what we call Sapphire Executive. Our Sapphires, if you look up in the rankings that we have, would do about $15,000 a month in volume, group sales, total group sales. And they're gonna, you know, they can earn a pretty significant income. You can see the different type of limits that you can earn or whatever that you can earn there. But on average, you're probably gonna see a qualified Sapphire with the right proportion of leg balance that takes place. They're gonna earn anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 per month for a fully qualified Sapphire. It could be less, but in many cases, I've seen it be more. But this is on average here is what I have seen from a fully qualified Sapphire with the right balance of business following the system that we have. So that's what we have for the first part. So if a person looking to go Sapphire, this is the first thing that I show them. Let's go on and put you 12 to 15 people in is what I tell them. Let's do it in the first 30, 45 days or so, no more than 60 days. Let me show you how to take it and duplicate these people, put them a plan in place, and now we're going to grow an organization. And so we can help you knock out Sapphire. Okay? Some people do it in a shorter period of time. So that's the first part of what we have as part of setting up your foundation.